Welcome to Chattin 88. If you're just tuning in, hey, that's great. Oh, every single week we have a guest. Because you're spending time with me. I said spending time with me. I said spending time with me is the best. Is the best. Is the best. Is the best. Ha! Welcome everybody to Chattin 88's at 8. I am your host, Curtis LaBelle, coming live to you from Studio C. Yes, a big shout out to Vinyl Den downtown in Red Deer. They are a vintage everything store. Let me tell you, they have records, they have memorabilia, they have CDs, they have oh my goodness, everything you could possibly think of under the sun that you could get that's memorabilia for merchandise in the music industry. Head on down to the Vinyl Den in Red Deer, Alberta, and you're going to have a good time shopping away there. Let me tell you, spend all your money for local businesses and support local merchandise. Yes, also speaking of local merchandise, you can get all some great merchandise from bands from around Central Alberta at this one-of-a-kind store, the Vinyl Den, downtown Red Deer on Russ Street. All right, welcome to tonight's show. I'm very excited for tonight, but before we go ahead and do that, I just wanted to talk really quickly about some of the things that might be lifted shortly here in our neck of the woods. So we're going to be getting back to restaurants, and we're going to be getting back to gyms, workouts, but unfortunately, I think we're not going to be able to get back to, live performance here in Central Alberta or in Alberta at this point in time, which is kind of sad, but that's okay. We can live stream. And speaking of live stream, if you would like to tune in, or I'm recommending you do, or I suggest you do, I will be doing live streams starting the 9th of February on Tuesdays on Instagram and Thursdays on Facebook. No, sorry, Fridays on Facebook. And so that's Tuesdays on Instagram, Fridays on Facebook. And we're going to sing. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to do a little bit of covers, going to do some originals, some new music that I've been working on, and enjoy the time we can together over live stream. Live stream. All right, let's move on to Canadian history. We have some Canadian history that we want to talk about today. Some of the mainstream platforms have evolved over these last 30, 40 years. And especially in the last 20 years, the internet has taken over. And on the internet, we have, just as much as radio as we did in the past. But there's some really interesting facts about radio in the Canadian history. Now, we have so many radio stations on the web now, in addition to what we already had. But radio for Canadian radio is considered the turn of the millennium. The millennium, turning around. It was a great time for nationalism. Yes, the CRTC rules in 1971, which was 30% Canadian content. So we had 30% Canadian content in 1971 on the radio. And we didn't have the internet back then, but, radio was one of the biggest forms of presenting this new content by all Canadian artists that were in the mainstream at that point in time. And it was about to go full force by the end of the 20th century. Now, by that time, radio stations would have to pay, would be playing 35% more Canadian content, and pop musicians then started to, take over the airways that made it the 21st century explode. So we had radio explode from the 1970s all the way up to the, up in any time past that. So we went from 30% to 35%. So ask yourself this: when you're listening to the radio the next time here in Canada, or anywhere in the world, mostly Canada, I guess, let's talk about that. Are you hearing 35% of Canadian content? Is that still a thing? And has nationalism, made that a priority in CRTC rules? Dominating the American charts was a really big thing for Canadian artists. in Canadian history. You know, we had a lot of artists in the early 60s and everything like that work really hard in order to become known in Canada. And such artists as Leonard Cohen needed to go down into the United States, down south, in order to help promote himself and get himself up there into the charts. And you know, we ended up, Leonard Cohen, you know, is hugely famous all around the world, not just in the United States or Canada, but a substantial list of mainstream Canadian artists such as Nelly Furtado, Avril Lavigne, Michael Bublé, Shawn Mendes, The Weeknd, and Justin Bieber, and many, many more have had huge international success. Not just with Canada, but because of going down into the States and working with internationally other artists and representatives in the industry. And then, of course, that just goes around the chart for Hollywood actors as well. We have amazing, amazing Canadian talent on all fields of the medium. But talk about stepping up the game for original Canadian content and taking over. And even then, there was, you know, I can't remember what we had talked about it previously, that there were a couple of women, few women, that it dominated the awards at the Grammys. Alanis Morissette. I can't remember the other couple, the other two at the time. At the time, I can't remember the moment. But, however, you know, we are powerful Canadians, and we will continue to make history in this world and in the music industry. Fun fact for today in Canadian music history, not on this day, but the Log Driver's Waltz was written in 1979, written by Wade Hemsworth, and it speaks of the love song and depicts the practice of the professionalism of log driving. And now, if anybody doesn't know what log driving is, you can see a lot of this in BC and up north in the Yukon. I've had the opportunity to do a couple shows in the Yukon as well, and in BC, and there's been, you know, I've often taken time to go see the Canadian history of log driving, and I've often wanted to know what it was like to be standing on these huge logs and controlling them. So you would have this giant, I can't remember the name of the poker, I guess. We'll just call it a poker. We'll find the name for you, and we'll get the actual terminology for it. And if anybody knows the terminology for that poker, it's not a fire poker, please put it in our comments and let us know, and we'll make sure we put that in. You have to run from each one and move. So anybody that's been a child, I'm pretty sure along a stream or anything like that, we've all had a Canadian spirit inside of us and decided, I'm going to walk on this log and see if I can go from one end of the stream to the other or one end of the log to the next. So if you haven't heard the song Log Driver's Waltz, if you haven't seen the video on the National Board of Canada, I'm going to say music video. It's absolutely beautiful art as well. And we'll find out if anybody knows the artist for that, the cartoon, and it transforms from cartoon into, or from real to cartoon, one of the two. It's absolutely amazing and a fun song to sing. Also, our artist for today, that's it for Canadian music history for today, but our next talk is as a local artist we have here in Red Deer. He doesn't know I'm going to mention his name, but this man deserves a standing ovation. His name is Ryan Carnduff, and he is a force to be reckoned with. And let me tell you, I say that because he works hard so much at his craft. This gentleman has 28 singles out. 28 singles. They're all available on Bandcamp. And you can listen to his music on Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube, all the above. But not only has he 28 songs out, that he does so much work in the industry, not only for himself, but for others. He is on his second album releasing of covers. This man has taken the time over COVID. The opportunities are lost during COVID, but it's a lost opportunity is a great reason to make a new opportunity for you. We create the opportunities, and especially as artists in this industry, he has learned so many different artists' original music, and I myself have had the opportunity to be blessed with him covering Pawn in My Shade. I don't look at you the same way that you see me. He did that. And man, did it ever turn out good. So he has a CD that you can purchase. I don't know if he has any more, but you can also listen to all those songs on his Bandcamp. That's Ryan Carnduff Music. It's at Ryan Carnduff. That's 2 F C-A-R-D-U-N Carnduff. I couldn't do. How do you do alphabet? I couldn't think about it. And .bandcamp.com. You can listen to all that, all those covers and his originals. And he's just put out a second album out. So that's got to be close to, 25 artists that he's been covering, and he's taken the time to learn all the music. So thank you, Ryan, for all your efforts and all your kindness and all your music going into this industry. We are about to bring on our guest here right now. But before we do, I just want to say a couple things about this gentleman. This gentleman I met during the Shot, have had a great opportunity to meet a lot of artists from the Shot. But not only that, it goes a lot further with these artists. I've become friends with them. We've, some of us have become collaborators together. And one of the things that I had the opportunity to do with Evan, which we'll talk about, was a song swap. This is a country Canadian singer-songwriter. He's rising to the fame, hitting the stars. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Evan Farrell. Evan, how you doing, buddy?
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. We can hear you. Welcome to Chattin 88 at 8. We have, it's been interesting. We have a lot of different people who have been really looking forward to this interview and to this chat and getting to know each other, because they look at you on your... Exactly that. You push your hair back. You got the swag. You got this deep country voice. You're bringing the country. You're oozing country. And the girls are just fondling over your images. It's great. They love you. Not only is your music good, you are a beautiful soul and you are a beautiful spirit. So welcome, and let's dive right in.
All right.
Tell us a little bit about where you're from and, your music background. Where did you study music? How long have you been doing it? And give us all those details in fun manner.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you. That was a great intro. That was awesome. Where I'm from a little town in Ontario called Stouffville, which is basically, I call it my little bullseye, because everybody around us, like there's a bunch of major towns around us, cities around us that have tons of like high populations, and then there's this one little dot right in between them, and that's us. Everybody goes around us, nobody hits us, so we're our little bullseye. It's a little town called Stouffville. And it's been growing a little bit, but that's where I'm from. In terms of music, I started picking up a guitar when I was about 12 years old, and then basically what happened was I've always had this thing with lyrics. Like there's videos of me in a crib bouncing along the Toby Keith records when I was like 2, and so
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
I was like 2 years old, just bouncing around like, I love this bar. But yeah, no. So I've always loved the country music.
You're holding on to your crib bars behind there. And you're just
like a little prisoner. Yeah. So I've always loved the country side of things. But then when I picked up a guitar, I couldn't sing, but I would still do it anyways. So my dad was like, shut up or get voice lessons. And so I got voice lessons. And now we're here. And in terms of studying music, it's kind of just been playing my favorite songs that I love growing up, and then eventually writing my own, and now turning it into a career. So yeah.
Right on, man. And so is it safe to say that you've went down some of the path of, playing at some bars and bringing out the guitar, and especially at, campfires and all those lovely moments like that? Tell us a quick funny story or a quick moment that you remembered the excitement of performing at a bar. The whole performing at a bar thing was actually kind of iffy, because I decided I wanted to do this when I was 16. Right. So when I went into it, I couldn't get into bars, couldn't play bars. Right. So I turned 19, and then like a month after I turned 19, the world shut down. So not only have I not really played, I was put on bars rosters for this upcoming summer. So I was put on like a couple bars around here. The way it works is essentially you just get put on their roster and you play there. So basically, if you're on your roster, they'll say like there's like 5 artists on there, and they'll be like, all right, you guys, you get like Wednesday, Tuesday. It's like shifts at work, because this is our job, right? It's like you get your nights. And then so I was put on a couple of those, but then the world shut down, and now not only have I not played at like full on bars, I haven't even been to any, because the world shut down after I turned 19. And the world's got a funny sense of humor and just said, you can't do that. You can't have any fun. So what? You're 20. Are you turning 20 soon, or you just
I'm
turned 20?
turning 20 in a couple weeks. Yeah,
Oh, your birthday's in February. What is your birthday for everybody at home?
February 21st.
February 21st. Everybody make sure that you wish Evan a happy
Yeah,
birthday
it's
and
coming up.
shoot him a couple of congratulations and some birthday cake. Well, digital birthday cake.
Yeah, little emojis. Nice.
Yeah, little emojis. Um, you know what, buddy? I have to say, country music is, if you know, country music and pop music are one of the most two highly sought after genres in this industry. And
Mhm.
you literally have everything going for you with country music. And I think what's really nice about you as a country artist is you're not, you still have your own self brand as a country artist. You're not
Yeah,
wearing a cowboy hat or you got the big buckle or old
yeah.
like Conway Twitty country, right?
I am doing the plaid a lot. You see a lot of either full on black in country,
Right.
where like black t-shirt, black jeans. You see a lot of that, or you see a lot of plaid. I was wearing plaid before I got into country. I've always been a plaid
I'm
kid.
not a plaid person, but I figured today was appropriate for me to pull out the
Yeah, I
plaid.
love it.
Actually,
You rock it.
well, actually, you know what? Funny story. This is my husband's, so
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna steal this and look country because that's what we do, right? um, when did you decide? Have you always listened to country music? And has that
Always.
always that's so it's no doubt there's not is there any other references to music that have like paved your way? What else do you listen to with music?
I went through a little phase there for like 3 months where I listened to pop music when I was in like grade 4. But other than that, it's just been, yeah, I listen to pop music. So I was like, oh, that cool kid's listening to pop music. And then I was like, this sucks. And then well, it doesn't suck, but like, but like I was like, I like my country stuff better. But yeah, no, I've grown up with listening to like Josh Turner, hence the low
Right.
voice, and like Toby Keith, all that stuff. And it's always been country music for me, man. Always.
That is so awesome. Along the way, there are, the road and the journey in the music business and industry and finding ourselves of art as artists is, uh, needless to say, probably one of the hardest professions in the world. I mean, I'm not saying anybody can pick up a welding device and make a clean bead.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that anybody can, learn to, it's easy to be a pilot. But we are ever evolving as artists. So
Yeah.
take us on the journey of you discovering who you are as an artist, especially, well, you're only 19, so you
Yeah.
still have hopefully another 80, 100 years of figuring out what an artist is for you, because we don't, like, it's always changing.
It's
But
always changing.
so
Yeah.
let's say you've been doing this now professionally for a year and a bit. What experiences have you been through that has led you to, some of the successes that you have discovered today with your journey?
One of the biggest things for me, at least, has been like just as you said, discovering yourself as an artist. The first thing, I was lucky enough when I started out when I was 16 to get be mentored by two guys named Michael Peters and Barry Hogan, who are like, they have been awesome for me. They've been amazing. They were my mentors going in. The first thing they said was, need to learn how to write music. This is before like I could barely play guitar. I could barely sing. Like I was just this really green kid, just like, oh, I kind of want to try music. And then first thing they said was, figure out who you are as an artist. What's your identity? What's your image? What's your brand? All that stuff. And learn how to write a song. And so after a long time of fighting myself, I started out, I was like, oh, I'm going to be this sad songwriter. I'm going to write ballads. I'm going to make people cry. And then I went through like tried a bunch of these different things. I'm going to wear this type of clothes for my brand. I'm going to do all this. Eventually I just kind of not gave up, but I realized, like, if I make a brand that is nothing like who I am, it's not going to be genuine. I'm not going to be able to keep it up all the time. So then I just started playing shows, wearing what I wanted to wear, writing about what I wanted to write, and really just being who I am. And if you can this is like for anybody else looking to be an artist too, if you can turn your brand and your image into who you actually are, you're going to have people saying, oh, you should do this, you should do that. But like, if you can turn yourself into who you actually are, you're going to make it so much easier on yourself, because you're not going to be acting all the time. You're not going to be holding up this little persona just because it's your brand. It's who people think you are. If you are who you are, you're on the right path.
100% agreed. And you hear, we're, well, I mean, that's one of the biggest things that if we just go, we'll go into the shot really quickly here. You were in that. We ended up doing that together. And that was one of the biggest things that we did in that, not just being a competition, but also a mentoring program and an experience galore, was branding. And so how was that for you going through did you have an EPK? And for anybody who doesn't know what an EPK is, it's an electronic press kit, kind of like a digital resume, I guess, that we would, as artists, present to all those people. Did you have an EPK beforehand?
No, I was actually working on it, and it was perfect because they were like, your next thing is your EPK. And I'm like, cool, I had to get it done. And so I just kind of got it done. I got some help with that. I got a buddy who's in the design program at University of Toronto. And so I just told him, like, hey, could you help me make this look nice? I got all the information, everything. So he just kind of helped me out with that. But yeah, I needed to get that done. The EPK is essentially just a one-stop shop for anything an important person would need to look at. Here's what I have out. Here's what I've done. Here's what I played, all that stuff. But yeah, no, the whole branding thing, that EPK, I needed to get around to it anyways. I was happy it popped up because I was like, cool, I had to do that. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing about an EPK is it every time you have something new that comes out, the recommendation is to address the EPK and change it continuously. The
Update.
EPK should change as often as your clothes.
Yes. Update.
Update. Well said. You know what? Why don't we go right into, before I ask you about the jerseys on the wall and get a little bit of your hockey experience here?
Yeah.
Why don't you take us into, why don't we go into Playlist? Playlist is a song that's yours on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Apple Music, all the above, YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Evan. Give us a little bit about the story of Playlist, and then take us right into it, my friend.
All right. Yeah, you can hear that all good?
We can hear that.
All right, perfect. So Playlist was, this was the first co-write I ever had. And I wrote it with a guy named Ben Hudson. And so this was probably like the third song I've ever written. I was about 15 at the time. And this guy, Ben Hudson, he's a really tall guy. He's like 6'7". So he shows up, he ducks under the door, and then we got to work. And I just told him, like, hey, I have this idea. I don't know how these things go. It was my first co-write. I've never like bounced ideas off anybody, but I was like, hey, I'm not sure exactly how this works, but I have an idea we can try to run with. And he's like, well, that's how it works. What do you got? And so I just kind of told him, it was like playlist, and we could do like the different types of songs in a playlist. And I ended up recording it when I was 16, released it to YouTube. I shot a video for it and everything. And it was just supposed to go to YouTube, but then it did really well there. So we ended up putting it on Spotify and Apple Music. And it did pretty well there too. So this is kind of like my entrance into the industry. It's called Playlist. Some of them set the mood just right. Some of them get you fired up for Friday night. Some of them heal a heartbreak and hit you like an earthquake. But girl, if there was one for you and I, it'd be that real good and that feel good that can't do nothing wrong. Then something slow and steady gets you rocking all night long. It'd be that breakup, makeup, and that old time Taylor Swift. Put the Never Leave You Again song at the end of our playlist. Some of them take you back in time. Some of them can't wait for the sun to shine. Some of them make you wonder and just roll on like thunder. But girl, the one for you and I would be that real good and that feel good that can't do nothing wrong. Then something slow and steady gets you rocking all night long. It'd be that breakup, makeup, and that old time Taylor Swift. Put the Never Leave You Again song at the end of our playlist. You and me on repeat, singing every song. There's a million of them out there, but you're the one I want. That real good, feel good, can't do nothing wrong. Then something slow and steady gets you rocking all night long. That break up, make up, and that old time Taylor Swift put the Never Leave You Again song at the end of our playlist. The end of our playlist.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Evan, thank you so much. Thank you.
I haven't played that song in a minute, man.
Well, it's a lovely key.
Yeah. Friendliest
Oh, love it. Really quickly, did you always have that low country voice? I was like very... Have you always had it?
I haven't always had it. I picked it up in about grade 7. And so essentially what happened was I've grown up listening to Josh Turner. If you don't know Josh Turner, he's the guy that goes, "Baby, lock the door," that guy.
Yep.
Grew up listening to Josh Turner and that type of music and like Randy Travis and all that. And then when I was in grade 7, I found this guy named Scotty McCreery from American Idol. And
Yep.
I was just like, that he makes good songs. He sings good. I want to do that. And so I just kind of sang all the Scotty McCreery, Josh Turner songs, all that stuff. And I really kind of honed in the low range. And that was right when I was going through like puberty too. So that was just like hitting the low range and just kind of staying there. And so, I didn't know I was setting myself up for what was really going to help me out, because baritone and bass voices are the most rare voices out there. So it's like, oh, you bring something to the table you don't see a lot. But yeah, it all started just through like my music influences growing up with Josh Turner, Randy Travis, but mostly Scott and McCreery.
Well, you've done a bang out job stretching your vocal folds and getting the elasticity and those low notes down there. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I sing really high. I cannot hit the low notes. And it's kind of funny, as I had mentioned when I was bringing you on for tonight's show, I was talking about, an experience that we had together having to do a song swap during the shot.
Yes.
And I still have that video, by the way, but your truck... I can't remember the key. That is it.
A.
An A?
It's an A, yeah.
A. Your truck can beat mine.
Yeah, there it is.
In a race any day, any time. Bill
Yeah.
for the blacktop, leaving them in the dust.
Hey, your
That's
truck's
what
got
they were
that.
supposed to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it right there. Your truck's got that little instead of like the shifter, it's got that knob thing, right?
Yeah.
You ever just go to like turn up your radio and then you're going backwards?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, I still think that I just had Run Away come out on Friday, but
Yep.
I would really love to see you do a cover of that song. You saying you were doing all these sappy slow songs and all this love and bring it home and keep it down. I love what you did with it. I really do, man. And please go further with it. I think it was great to hear that song.
Yeah.
It was different, and that's really cool about the song swap, right?
Yeah. And I will say I don't write sappy slow songs anymore. I went through a phase there, but now, I mean, I don't really know. They say rule number 1 is write what you know in songwriting because it's more interesting. As a 19-year-old person in a pandemic, I know very little about the world except for how to drink a lot of alcohol. So I write a lot of drinking songs and have a lot of fun, and that's pretty much it. I kind of moved away from the slappy slow songs.
And hopefully a little bit less on the drinking too, right? No, I'm kidding.
No.
No. Oh, and he says it really deeply.
No. No, sir.
Oh my goodness. What is your favorite drink, by the way?
Bud Light, man.
Bud Light.
I'm a Budweiser man.
Budweiser. I'm a Budweiser man myself.
Yeah. I was into Budweiser for a while.
Can you sing that? Budweiser man
That line?
myself.
That line?
That line, but go really low. Do it low.
Okay. It's the actual one is.
Oh, this is so good, ladies.
Yeah, I'm a Budweiser man. I'm a Budweiser man myself. I'm a little more. Yeah.
I'm a little more. I love it. What, really quickly, what are you doing with that song? Are you going to do something with it?
I haven't recorded it. I haven't done anything. I've done absolutely nothing with it yet.
Oh, if you want piano on it, I'd love to put piano on it for you.
That would be awesome, man. I've been meaning to get back into the studio, start recording some stuff. I got a lot of stuff in the tank, but I can't get in the studio right now.
It's hard to get in the studio, and not only that, it's not cheap.
Yeah, my main man is Sean Moore. I record everything with him. He's been with me since I was 15. Started out with him, and I'm very much of a ride or die type person. Like, even if I know something's a better option, like I'm like, no, this is my guy. Which, by the way, I haven't found a better option. Sean is literally the best producer I've ever met in my life, and he had to shut his studio down for like precautionary reasons, and I won't go anywhere else. So I can't get in there.
Loyalty at its finest, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Evan is shooting the love right there to his producer. Yeah. Take us to the jerseys behind you. You're a Mighty Ducks fan?
If you're not a Mighty Ducks fan, I don't want to talk.
Okay, listen. I was a Mighty Ducks fan for the movie when it came out. Yeah, I'm not a hockey fanatic, but tell us about these jerseys behind you.
Yeah, so this I'm kidding, by the way. So this is my actual jersey. This is my hometown. This is supposed to be a baseball jersey, but the one I was looking at, or the one I was using, was pretty dirty, and apparently dirt doesn't come out of baseball jerseys for some reason. But this is my hometown hockey team, the Stouffville Clippers, right here. I played with them ever since I was a kid. Played at the highest level in Stouffville. I was number 33 because I was a goalie. Yeah, so this is my actual hometown team. This is actually the movie. That's Charlie Conway right there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. This is the best impulse purchase I've ever made right here.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, so that's I really wanted a Mighty Ducks jersey one time, and so I just went online, just looked up Mighty Ducks jersey, found the first one I could, and it was like $90 down the drain, but it's like an authentic jersey. Everything's right.
No, it's $90 on your wall, man.
That's exactly it. But I've been Charlie Conway every year for Halloween for like 4 years in a row now.
You know what? I hope to see you when you're 80 and I am 117. That you're still in that Conway Ducks jersey.
I'll be wearing this, yeah, of course.
You'll be wearing it to 6 feet under, man.
I'm getting buried in this jersey, yeah.
You are, let's talk about what you're playing on there. Let's talk about your guitar. What are you playing on what kind of guitar are you playing on? What's the brand of it?
I am playing a Taylor.
A Taylor?
So a Taylor, oh God, it's got so many letters and numbers. It's a Taylor 717E. I always forget that one. It's called a Grand Pacific body. Got a Sitka spruce back with an Indian rosewood front. I got the matte. I like the tan thing.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I like the sunburst color. I got the matte finish on it too, because like I had shiny guitar. My Yamaha is a shiny guitar, and I get fingerprints all over it. But for
I gotta say, the matte is a great choice, man. It looks great on camera, and I'm sure it looks great on stage too.
I love matte. My granddad kind of bought me this guitar because I say kind of because I took his tuition money and I bought this guitar with it. Basically, yeah. So when I decided I was going to go to music and not school, because that's the smart option, yeah, I ended up taking his tuition money and bought this thing that's actually worth more than my truck. So,
is he still here with us today?
He is.
And is he proud of your purchase?
Yeah, he didn't know I had it up until we didn't tell my grandparents that I had it up until I played a festival last year, and we brought them out to the festival because they'd never been to a show before.
Right.
And so we brought them out to the festival, and I had a really good day at the festival. I played really well, band was tight, all that. And then they're German, and they're very strict. Like, you need to do this, do this, do this, do this. Like, go to school, job, kids, retire. Like, that's the only way to go.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
when we told them that like music was a career, they didn't really know how to respond up until they saw me play, and they found out that like, oh, he's really good, and he can, like, this is what he loves to do. So once that show was over, we told them like, hey, we took the tuition money, and this is that we bought this with it. And they said, oh, they were understanding after that, because they understood that like, this is what I want to do.
Nice. And you know what a great story to have for history, 20, 30 years down the road, whenever you're writing a book or somebody's doing an autobiography on you, or a biography, sorry, and they get that story of that Taylor guitar in there from your granddad's tuition money.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Okay, let's shift to the biggest accomplishment to date, I guess it's safe to say. You just released
Yes.
Out There Somewhere on
Yes.
Friday, or no, sorry, 2 weeks ago on a Friday.
Two,
Was it on a Friday?
Tuesday. 2 weeks
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
2
2 weeks
weeks
ago
to,
yesterday. Yes.
2 weeks ago yesterday. And that sounds like a song. 2 weeks to Tuesday.
2 weeks to Tuesday. I've been drunk 7 ways to Tuesday. Anyways.
Ladies and gentlemen, this song Out There Somewhere is not is a really hot and up and coming song. It is catchy. It is fast, like you say. You've shifted and you've moved into upbeat songs.
Yes.
A playlist is also fast as well, and it has just reached. It reached. We said 17,000, but as of today, it's over 20,000 views.
Yeah, it hit 17. It was at 17,000 yesterday. Today we broke 20,000 streams.
20,000 streams. What does it take, or how does that make you feel?
Validated, I guess, because for a long time, I mean, music is so much of a numbers game, essentially, where like it's easy to look at your numbers.
You
and
can
the worst,
say that 100 times over.
dude, the worst thing you can do in music is compare yourself to somebody else, but it's so easy to do because you can be like, oh, well,
Absolutely.
they're at that point. Why am I not there? It's like, well, because they've kind of gotten lucky or they're a couple years ahead of you or something. You can't compare yourself to other people. You just got to like get little victories. But basically, like getting 20,000 streams in 2 weeks is something that I never thought that I would be able to do. And that's a very cliche thing to say, but it's true. Like I never really thought.
Well, that's what makes a cliche real, is the fact that it is true. And
it's true. It's happened. And yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it takes hard work and perseverance, though, not just luck, and especially in the music industry. That's why we say, that's why I said earlier that it's probably, in my humble opinion, one of the hardest careers to do, not just because it's ever changing, but right now, especially as artists, we are the owner, we are the creator, we are the producer in some way.
Yeah.
We're the CEO of our business, right? So just really quickly, what are some of the things that you've been doing to promote your music?
I got one of the biggest things I got really lucky with was I got to write it with a guy named Jade Eagleson and Daryl Scott. And so Daryl Scott's an amazing writer. So is Jade Eagleson. But the thing with Jade Eagleson is he's signed to Universal Music. He has broken Canadian country music records with his streaming things. He's a good guy to have in your corner. And he's also a great guy. Like we've kind of gotten to know each other over the past little bit, but he's been helping a lot. He gave me a big shout out, which I wasn't expecting on the release day. And it really helped having all that stuff attached to it, but also taking it to radio. It's the first song I've ever took to radio. It's doing pretty well there. Just having it reach a bunch of different people's ears. And then also got lucky on Spotify with getting picked up by the release radar. And
and congratulations on that too. That's fantastic.
Thank you very much. And it's been amazing to watch because it's kind of like the validation thing where a lot of people kind of looked at me, a lot of parents kind of looked at me and like, I mean, I won't have a university degree or anything. And a lot of people just looked at me and were like, oh, really? You're going to go into music? But like, what do you really want to do? Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of, well, that's what, if that, again, a hard business, you got to keep yourself strong. You thick skin in this business and follow your dreams, right? Follow your dreams. Speaking of following your dreams, why don't you take us into Out There Somewhere?
Yes,
Sing
sir.
it for us and take it away, my friend.
Yes, sir. All right. There it is. Yeah, so I wrote this song just because on graduation day I realized that like nobody knew where we were going to be in 10 years. Hence, we are in a pandemic. Nobody thought we were going to be here, but here we are. And it's all about just taking life as it comes, and whatever's coming for you, it's out there somewhere. Don't know when my dream car is gonna be sitting out in the drive. Don't know where I'm gonna be in 10 years. Yeah, but that's alright. Whatever's out there coming for me, well, I'll be sitting right here, sitting pretty, because it's coming as fast as it can. And only the good Lord knows my plans. But it could be around the corner, 10 years down the road. That's the thing about life, yeah, we just never know. Whatever we're out here looking to find, well, it's alright, yeah, it can take its time. Like that dream job, Homer girl could be anywhere. It's all out there somewhere. And don't know if my ride or die team's ever gonna bring it home again. Go Leafs! Don't know how great it's gonna be to tuck my babies in, but I can tell the future's gonna be a good one, and I'm gonna take it all in as it's coming, because it's coming as fast as it can, and only the good Lord knows my plans, but it could be around the corner 10 years down the road. That's the thing about life, yeah, we just never know. Whatever we're out here looking to find, well, it's alright, it can take its time. Like that dream job, Homer girl could be anywhere. It's all out there somewhere. Yeah, they're out there somewhere. I'm gonna fall along the way. I'm gonna make a few mistakes, but I won't let it tie me down. 'Cause it could be around the corner 10 years down the road. That's the thing about life, yeah, we just never know. Whoa, whatever we're out here looking to find, well, it's alright, it can take its time. Like that dream job, Homer girl could be anywhere. It's all out there somewhere. Yeah, they're out there somewhere.
Oh, fantastic.
All
Amazing.
right, thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, Evan Farrell, you can catch that new song on all streaming platforms. Give this guy a follow on Spotify. Give him a follow on his YouTube channel. Catch his Facebook page. Catch his Instagram. Lots of great things coming from this young gentleman. Evan, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show tonight. Can you leave us with a little bit of advice for aspiring artists in the industry who want to follow their dreams today?
Oh man, thank you for having me. This has been a lot of fun. Getting actually to play for some people again is fun.
Nice.
But advice for younger artists. Yeah, basically going back to what I said, you got to just be yourself in this industry. And you hear it a lot. You hear a lot of like, oh, you got to be different. You got to be all this stuff. You got to be all that stuff. But like, you just got to be yourself, man. If you can be yourself, people will respond to it. And the people that don't respond to it well and like won't like it, that's not the people you're playing to anyways. You can't please everybody no matter what you do. But if you just be yourself, you won't have to pretend to be anybody. And then you really just gotta work at it too. I mean, you gotta pump content into the world and just always be working on your songwriting, be working on have a story to tell, you know? If you have an idea, run with it, see where it goes. Worst case scenario, doesn't work, go back to the drawing board. And just, you can't be afraid to take risks and all that stuff, and just be yourself, basically.
Awesome. Well, you heard it right from Evan Farrell, ladies and gentlemen. My friend, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for your advice, and best of luck to all of the future endeavors you have with music. And just let me know whenever you want piano on that song.
Sounds good. Sounds
right,
good.
buddy.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
You bet. I'll let you take yourself out and have a great night.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
Cheers. All right, my friends at home or anywhere you're sitting in the world right now watching this show, that is Evan Farrell. What a fabulous gentleman that young man is. And you know what? What a great singer. I won't be able to sing that low no matter what. But I'll cover the 2 octaves higher than that for any song that he maybe ever asked me to be on. If you have any questions for us about any of our past artists, please shoot us an email at chattin88@8@gmail.com. Send us a message in one of our on Messenger and our Facebook page. Please be sure to follow us on our Instagram, as well as if you would like to review this video, you can not only watch it on Facebook, you can catch it on YouTube. It will be up on Friday. And you can also listen to us in the car or anywhere you're walking with headphones on our podcast channel, which is available on a few streaming platforms right now for podcasts, but be sure to follow our Spotify channel as well. Other than that, please make sure you head over to Ryan Carnduff's Bandcamp page, check out his 28 singles and the release of his second album for the covers. Don't forget the Log Driver's Waltz, and remember, thank you for tuning in tonight. We had a great show, that's right. Oh, every single week we have a guest. Because spending time with me, I said spending time with me, I said spending time with me is the best. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a fabulous night, and we will see you next week.